It's time for the World Series. What's up, guys, and welcome to episode number 17 of this Henry Gowan MLB The Show 20 Road to the Show series. And today I'm obviously starting the World Series here in this Henry Gowan Road to the Show series. As you saw in the last episode, we were in the ALCS against the Minnesota Twins, my favorite team, and we beat them 4-1. As the whole ALCS was in the last episode, and then 2 episodes ago was a whole ALDS. So last episode was the ALCS, the episode before that was the ALDS. Both of those videos will be now in the sky in the top right hand corner right up here. And there should be an icon that pops up at the beginning of the video. But Henry Gowan's still in 80 gold. As you can see in the schedule, we're playing the Los Angeles Dodgers in the World Series, a World Series rematch 4 years later. As it is 2021 in this game, as we are 7-2 in the playoffs. We're about to play the Dodgers in the World Series. Like I said, it's a World Series rematch 4 years later. Obviously, in 2017, obviously at the time the Astros were cheating. Obviously that didn't come out until early 2020, I'm pretty sure, where the Astros were cheating for 2017 to 2019 or something like that. Obviously, the Dodgers-Astros 2017 World Series went 7 games, but the Astros ended up winning Game 7, 5-1. In LA to win their first ever World Series in franchise history. Obviously, in real life, they won 2017, and then they won last year in 2022. They won 2017, lost 2019 and 2021, but then won last year, 2022. So, they now have 2 World Series under their belts. In this game, obviously, they still won in 2017. As I started the series here in MLB The Show 20, so in 2017 they still won. 2019 they still lost. But in this game, they actually won in 2020. So they won last year, which was 2020 in this game, and now they're back here in 2021. And I didn't know this. I didn't realize this until right before we went to the World Series in the last episode that this is technically the Astros' 3rd World Series. After 2019, they lost it in real life. That was before the series. 2020, in this game, that's the first year of the series, they won. And then this year, 2021, the Astros are now back in the World Series. So this is the Astros' 3rd straight World Series appearance, and then this is the Astros' 3rd straight World Series, and their 4th World Series overall in the last 5 years. So 3 straight World Series, and then 4 World Series in the last 5 years. And out of the previous 3, they've won 2 of them, 2017 and then 2020. Actually, 2020 wasn't this game. I don't know. I shot. Looking at the playoff bracket, but I forgot. I just have to put square here on the calendar, and it's right there. As you can see, we beat the White Sox 3-1, then we beat the Twins 4-1, and then the Dodgers beat the Cubs 3-2, and then they beat the Phillies, who were the best team in the National League, 4-1. So we're 7-2, and the Cubs are 7-3. So yeah, I'm not sure how many games I'm going to be playing in this episode. I'm going to at least play the first, 3 or 4 games of the World Series, and the World Series may or may not end. I may or may not play the entirety of the World Series in this episode. I might not. It depends how long the games take, and depends what the series is at after 3 or 4 games. But that aside, we get 5 days off between the ALCS and the World Series, as the Astros are trying to win back-to-back World Series titles, and they're 4 wins away from doing that. Starting pitching matchup for Game 1 is James Paxton versus Walker Buehler. Obviously, we have home field advantage because we were the best team in baseball. We were 104-58. The Dodgers, I'm not sure what their record is. I'm gonna look right now, but we were 104-58, best team in baseball. So that's why we have home field advantage in the World Series, obviously. And then the Dodgers, 89-73. And then we were 104-58, and we were the best team in baseball. The Dodgers still won the NL West, 2 games over the Rockies. But yeah, we're the team that on paper we would win this series. Obviously, hopefully we still do, but never say never. We still play. They still play games for a reason. James Paxton versus Walker Buehler in Game 1. Let's get it right now. This team has A.J. Pollock, Brock Holt, Cody Bellinger, Matt Muncy, Corey Seager still, Kike Hernandez, Chris Taylor, Calerpe, Ruiz, and DJ Peters. Obviously, remember, DJ Peters is the DH because we're at American League Ballpark. So when we go to LA for games 3, 4, and 5, The pitchers will bat. And then we have Delano the Shield Jr., Jose Altuve, Yordan Alvarez, Carlos Correa, Alex Bregman, Henry Dowling batting sixth, Scooter Gennett, Nate Lowe, and Corey Lee. Let's get into Game 1 of the Fall Classic right now. Here we go, Game 1 of the 2021 Fall Classic. There's the my playoff stats at the top. 6 home runs, 19 RBIs, batted .436, 6 runs scored, all on home runs. And then I'm 17 for 39. Out of those 6 home runs, 2 were in the ALDS, 4 were, and then 4 were out of the 6 home runs, 2 were in the ALCS, or out of the 6 home runs, 2 were in the ALDS, and the other 4 were in the ALCS. Game 1, here we go. World Series rematch 4 years later. Yeah, like I said, I have 6 home runs in the postseason. 2 were in the ALDS, and the other 4 were in the ALCS. So 2 in the ALDS, and then 4 in the ALCS. That's Muncy. 46 home runs, 126 RBIs. Buehler, 17 wins, 2.24 ERA, and 224 strikeouts. Buehler versus Paxton. Game 1 of the Fall Classic right now. First there's player introductions. There's Henry Dowling right there. There's probably the thumbnail right there. Right there. Postseason, Game 1 of the Fall Classic. Right now, World Series rematch 4 years later. James Paxton, 1-0 records with 2 starts. 4.15 ERA. 1.08 whip. 3 walks, 10 strikeouts. I'm up. No runners on 2 outs. Bottom 2. No score. 4-seam fastball, slider, a cutter, a knuckle curve, and 4-seam fastball, slider, a cutter, a knuckle curve, and a 2-seam fastball for Buehler. The first World Series at bat. That's a liner, and that's gonna dip down in front of Pollock, as he'll field it on 1 hop. First hit of the game for Houston. 1 on 2 out for Houston. But like I said, I have 6 home runs here in the playoffs, 2 in the ALDS, and 4 in the ALCS. Full count, 2 outs, runner will be in motion, or I'll be in motion. And little pop-up, Cedar, still on LA, or still on the Dodgers in this game, and he makes the catch. End of 2, no score. And it's 1-0 LA. Pedro Ruiz, obviously in this game, they don't have Mookie Betts, or at least he's not playing, but if he's on this team, why would he not be playing unless he's injured? 1 down here in the 5th. It's 1-0 LA, like I said. We still have Correa, though. And it's still 1-0. Here, against Walker Buehler, leading out the bottom of the 5th. Sindel in the 2nd. Oof, a little in front of that slider. Last 3 games, I have a triple and 11 RBIs. Yeah, 11 RBIs and a triple, like I said, in the last 3 games. That's a ground ball, second base. Hernandez throws it over to Muncy. 1 down. That ain't good. And it's still 1-0. Bottom 7, 1 on, nobody out. Bottom 7, and it's Victor Gonzalez, so Buehler is out of the game. 4-seam fastball, slider, and a 2-seam fastball for Gonzalez. That's a fly ball, and it's gone! Henry Dowling! 2-1 Astros! 370. And it's 368, 2 feet off. Henry Dowling with his first career World Series home run, and the Astros have the lead in the bottom of the 7th. Henry Dowling comes up clutch. 7th of the playoffs, 1st of the World Series. And it's 2-1 Astros here in the bottom of the 7th. I just said 1st of the World Series, 7th of the postseason. No doubter. Into the Crawford boxes. He throws the bat, and the Astros have a 1-run lead. 98.6 miles per hour off the bat. We have a lead, at least And we still do top 8, no runners out, no runners out for DJ Peters against Ryan Presley. I forgot, Ryan Presley's our setup man, and then Roberto Ozuna is our closer. One down, I'm going to turn off the Simmon now. Fly out, bottom 8, strikeout, single, fielder's choice. Here we go, top 9, and the Dodgers go 1-2-3, and the Astros win it 2-1. Henry Dowland's the hero in Game 1, and we're 3 wins away from going back-to-back. As the Astros take Game 1 2-1 thanks to a 2-run home run by Henry Dowland in the bottom of the 7th. Ozuna shut the door as the Dodgers go 1-2-3 in the 9th, and the Astros take Game 1. That was a quick game. There's Dave Roberts, and I think you can see Kershaw there too. Devastated. Astros take Game 1. And they're 3 wins away from winning their 2nd straight World Series. Ozuna shut the door. There he is right there. 6 hits for LA, 5 for Houston. I had 2 of the hits. LA scored in the 4th, and then obviously we scored 2 in the 7th, and that's all the scoring. The player of the game, I'm not over there on the right side where the reporter and the cameraman are. It looks like the player of the game might be Ozuna. Is that Ozuna? No, that's Paxton. James Paxton, our starting pitcher, hits the top player of the game. It should have really been me because I had the go-ahead 2-run home run, and it was the only offense. The 7 innings pitched, 6 hits, 1 run, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 9 strikeouts, no home runs. That ain't bad, but I don't know. Paxton gets the win. That Victor Gonzalez gets the loss, and Roberto Ozuna gets his 5th save of the playoffs. We have to go back to the main menu. You have to go back to the main menu after each and every playoff game. Single, ground out, home runs. I only had 3 at bats. Like I said, they had 6 hits. We only had 5. So I only had 3 at bats. That's fine. 2 for 3. That's perfect, especially when we won the game. A win's a win. I was the hero with that go-ahead 2-run home run, and we won the game 2-1. And this clip's about to end, so I'll see you on the other side for Game 2. Obviously, you didn't miss anything. Game 2, let's get into it right away here. It's Lance McCullers Jr. versus Clayton Kershaw. McCullers 0-1, Kershaw 3-0 with McCullers 0-1, Kershaw 3-0 with a 0.33 ERA, 24 strikeouts through 27 innings. And looks like the only difference is that Peters is not the DH, AJ Pollock is the DH, and then the center fielder now is Chris Taylor. The reason it probably switched is because Paxton's a lefty and McCullers is now a righty, so that's why Pollock is the DH, Peters is out, and then Taylor's in to be the center fielder. And then Michael Bush is also at third base. I don't think he was at third base in the previous game. Same thing for Will Smith. I don't remember Will Smith being in the last game. I'm not sure. And then because now we're facing a lefty, it's Didi Gregorius is their DH. So McCullers a righty versus Kershaw a lefty. Let's get into Game 2 of the Fall Classic right now. Active boost with everybody except for Corey Lee, the catcher. I have plus 11 arm accuracy, plus 9 reaction, and plus 13 fielding. Batting at 452 now, 7 home runs, 21 RBIs, 7 runs scored, all on home runs, and then I'm 19 for 42. So I have 19 hits, 7 of them home runs. Let's watch the presentation. Matt Vasgersian, Game 2 of the 2021 World Series. Game 2, here we go. Here we go, Game 2, Kershaw versus McCullers. McCullers, 2 starts, 0-1 record, 11.74 ERA, and a 3.26 WHIP. He got roughed up, I think, his 2 starts here in the playoffs. One game he got to no decision, the other game, or the other start, he got the loss. Here's Bellinger, 2 outs, no runners on top 1, no score. That'll be the end of the inning, middle of 1, no score. Here we go, Astros coming to the bat. I might come up in the first or the second. Coming up in the second. Runner at first, nobody out. Bottom 2, no score against Kershaw, one of the best pitchers in the majors. That's a ground ball. That's the third baseman, Michael Bush. Throws it to Hernandez and throws to Muncy, and that's a 5-4-3 double play, 2 down. So Bush, Hernandez, Muncy, 2 down. And it's 1-0 Astros. 1 on, 1 out, bottom 4. Still against Kershaw. About to throw his 59th pitch. Go for 1 with that double play. Let's do maybe a hit. Or a homer! As I teed off of Kershaw, and it's gone! As Henry Dowling was waving it fair, and he did just that. Just inside the left field foul pole. I didn't guess, because I was watching the ball to see if it was fair or not, and then once I saw it was fair, the distance popped up. It was 428 feet, 111 off the bat. 428 feet, 111 off the bat. Redmond scores from first. 3-0 Astros in Game 2. 2 home runs in 2 games for Henry Dowling here in the Fall Classic, as I completely teed off on that high slider from Kershaw, and Dowling was waving it fair, and it was fair. As did that go out of the stadium? And it did go out of the stadium off the railroad tracks and bounced out of here. Or it might have went out of here on the fly. Or it hit the railroad tracks and went over. But yeah, that was 428 feet down the line. Here's Bellinger. And that's going to be 1 out here in the 6th. It's already the 6th inning. But yeah, I teed off on that high slider from Kershaw, and I hit it 428 feet out of the stadium. And it's now 3-1. Bottom 6, still against Kershaw. There was 89 pitch. Throw me the same slider and I'll kill it again, Kershaw. And he threw it, this one was a 4-seam fastball. Kind of almost center cut. It's another single, or another hit for Henry Dowling. 2 for 3. I might get one more at bat. Depends. And also remember, if we have the lead, there's no bottom of the 9th. Kershaw still in for Dodorius. 1 on, 1 out. 0-1. And it's a ground ball right to Corey Seager. Hernandez for 1. The Muncy double play. Good pitch by Muncy. End of the 6th. 3-1 Astros. And it's now 3-2. 1 on, 2 out. Top 7 for Bellinger again against Chris Devenski. Time runs on board. Go ahead runners at the plate. And it's a fly ball as Bellinger just missed it. Middle of 7, 3-2 Houston. Come on, we need some more insurance here. And it's still 3-2. Runner at second, 2 outs. Bottom 8. Kershaw's out of the game. It's against Josh Sabaros. Might be botching that name. That's a big run at second base. That's a fly ball towards the LA bullpen. And that ball is going to be off the wall. The runner will score. Dowling's going for a triple. And he's in, standing up with an RBI triple. 4-2 Houston. A 2-out RBI triple off the garage door, which the LA bullpen is behind that garage door, as it hit maybe halfway up. Maybe missed a homer by maybe 10 feet, maybe a little less. So it's a 2-out RBI triple, and it's 4-2 Astros. Here's Gregorius. That's a huge that's a big insurance run for Houston. And it's a fly ball. It sounded like it was obliterated, and it was obliterated. That ball is gone. 420. 392, so it's 28 feet off. But Gregorius completely teed off on the pitcher as he hit that really far and really hard. 104 off the bat. Not as hard as my homer. Not as hard or as far as my homer here in this game, but It's still a homer. That's all that matters. As Bellinger, who was the right fielder for LA, didn't even move. As he knew that was gone. That was like halfway up the first deck. As he completely teed off on that slider or curveball, and he just dropped the bat because everyone knew that that ball was gone. As that was pretty high, but I mean, went about halfway up the first deck in right field. I turned off the Simmons, pop up, top 9, close the door, and the Astros go 1-2-3 again, and the Astros win Game 2, 6-2. As Ozuna didn't come in because it wasn't a safe situation, but we still got the win, and the Dodgers still went 1-2-3 in the 9th, and we are 2 wins away from going back-to-back as we win Games 1 and 2 here in Houston. Now the series shifts to LA. As the series will shift to LA for Games 3, 4, and then Game 5 if necessary. So this possibly could be our last home game of the year. And if it is, that means we would be we would win the World Series in LA. Which, if we win it in LA, I'm fine with that, as long as we win it. It looks like that was Joe Smith who closed the door, as he stayed in, and because he pitched the 8th inning as well. He stayed in because it wasn't a safe situation. As we scored 3 in the 8th, they did some insurance. LA only had 5 hits and they had 3 errors. I had a homer and 3 RBIs. Gregorius had a homer and 2 RBIs. So I had the 2-run home run and then the RBI triple. Looks like I'm the player of the game. I believe that's me. And that is indeed me. Henry Dowling, tops player of the game for Game 2. As the Astros win Game 2, 6-2. It looks like I had a homer, a triple, and a single, so double shy of the cycle, but I got that triple in the 8th inning, so I wasn't going to come up again unless the game went to extras. But I have 2 home runs in 2 games. I homered off for Kershaw, one of the best pitchers in the game. OPS 2750, 3 RBIs, a homer, triple, single, 3 RBIs. Joe Smith got the save. The only reason Joe Smith, so McCullers got the win, Kershaw got the loss, and Joe Smith got the save. The only reason Joe Smith got the save is because he pitched the 8th and 9th inning. When he came in the 8th inning, it was a 3-2 Astros lead, so it was a safe situation when Joe Smith entered the game in the 8th inning. So that's why Joe Smith got the save, which is perfectly fine because, I mean, he gave 2 innings pitched, no hits, 2 strikeouts, no earned runs, and no walks. So he gave up no base runners unless he hit someone or something. But yeah, double play, homer, single, triple, scored on the homer and the triple. When I scored on Gregorius' home run, that was the first time this postseason that I've scored a run other than my home runs. I scored 2 home runs on my home run and the Gregorius home run. So that run when I scored on Gregorius' home run, that was the first time I've scored a run here in the playoffs. That's the first time I've scored a run on Gregorius' home run. That was the first time I scored a run that wasn't on my home run in the postseason. As it's Jose Urquidy versus Julio Arias for Game 3 in LA. As Games 3 and 4, and then Game 5, if necessary, are all in LA, and then Games 6 and 7, if necessary, are back in Houston. But let's end this series here in LA. Let's do it. Game 3 in LA. Obviously now the pitchers do bat, so obviously Gregorius and Jeanette neither of them are playing because the pitchers do bat. But yeah, I'm still batting sixth. Just remember there's no DH. So yeah. Game 3, the Fall Classic in LA at Dodger Stadium. Let's get it. If we win the World Series, I'm probably winning World Series MVP. Because I already won postseason MVP, which is really ALCS MVP. But I'm going to win the World Series MVP if we win the World Series. Let's watch a prediction. Matt Vasgersian, Game 3 of the 2021 World Series. And it's raining in Los Angeles. That's rare. Game 3, here we go. But first, is player introductions here in LA. But it is rare it's raining in LA, at least this time of year. Here we go, Game 3, a rainy Game 3 of the World Series. Let's go. Reyes, 2 starts, no record, 3.09 ERA. Here we go. Let's go, boys. Henry Dowan, and it's no score. Runner at first, nobody out. Top 2. Like I said, it's raining here in LA. No score in Game 3. That's the 4-seamer. That's a liner over the head of Muncy to the right fielder, and he botched it. The right fielder botched it, and then he threw it away. And I didn't move up, as backing it up was Arias, but the runner at first got over to third. And that's probably going to be an E9 on the right fielder. I believe that's Bellinger. I didn't advance to second base. I could have, especially because he threw it away as well. But I didn't. 0-1 down and 8 low. That's a ground ball. Runner will score as he looked home, and he threw it in the right field. And now a throw by Bellinger is wild or offline. And it's first and third, nobody out, as that's going to be an E5 on... Wait, why is Pollock playing third base? That's A.J. Pollock at third base. Yeah, I didn't know Pollock... Can you play third base? Because in right field, that is Bellinger. They have Hernandez in left, Taylor in center, Bellinger in right. So they moved Hernandez to left, and then they put Brock Holt at second, and then they put Pollock at third. Can Pollock play third base? I don't think he can. I thought Pollock could only play the outfield. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, this team does not have Mookie Betts. But yeah, I don't think Pollock can play third base. That's maybe why the throw was wild. As he looked home, and then he threw to second over the second baseman's head, which is Brock Holt in the right field, and then Bellinger had me at third base, but then he threw it. But then he didn't throw it wildly, but he threw it a little offline, and that got me over to third. So, no, actually, so it looks like the only error was at E5. They didn't charge Bellinger with an E9 2 plays ago. So the only error in this game was that throwing error by Pollock, which he shouldn't be at third base. I don't think he can play third base. So there was no E9 on Bellinger, but there was an E5 on Pollock. Here's Corey Lee. It's 1-0 Astros. The run did score. Ground ball up the middle. Another run will score as it's botched by Brock Holt, and it's 2-0 Astros. A defensive nightmare for LA. That's another error, as it's E4, so an error on Pollock, now an error on Holt, and that has allowed the Astros to score 2 runs, make that 4 runs now. Top 3, leading it off, I think. It's 4-0 LA. That's a ground ball to the shortstop. That's Cedar, actually playing in the right position. Well, Brock Holt can play second base. I don't think Pollock can play third base, but Holt can play second. It's now 4-2, 2-on, 2 out, bottom 4 for A.J. Pollock. He's a go-ahead run against Jose Urquidy. This game's nowhere near over. Fly ball, it's hit well. I don't think it's gone, but can I get there? And Henry Dowan cannot get there. As it goes up against the wall, 2 runs will score. And the Astros, as 2 runs will score, and the Dodgers have tied the game. 2-run double for Pollock, making up for his error. And it's 4-4, and it's still 4-4. 1-on, 2 out, top 5, 1 for 2 with a single, and then scored on that error. Yeah, but if you think about it, the Dodgers have 2 errors, Pollock and then Holt. But the previous play before Pollock's error, Bellinger probably should have had an error as well. So you have 2 errors. Really, it should have been 3, but 1 didn't count as an error. And also, when I said I was leading off the third inning, I wasn't. We scored 2 in the second, 2 in the third, and then the Dodgers scored 2 in the third and 2 in the fourth. Here we go. 1-on, 2 out, top 5, a brand new game here. 4-4. That's a ground ball, backhanded by Pollock, and this one's on line to second base. Halfway home, 4-4. Good play by Pollock. Surprisingly, he didn't throw it to first. He could have easily thrown that into the outfield again. Still 4-4. 1-on, nobody out for Matt Muncy, as it was 4-0 in Houston, but then LA scored 2 in the third and 2 in the fourth to tie the game. Fly ball, I should have it, and I do. One down. And it's 5-4 LA. First and third, 2 outs, top 7. Tying run 90 feet away. Go ahead runners at first base. Tying runs at third base. Here we go. Hit to the outfield should tie the or hit to the outfield will tie the game. That's a ground ball. Botched by Pollitt. And through to first, it's offline. Tie game. As Pollitt knocked it down, but then threw it offline. His second error of the game, and the Dodgers third. As that won't be an RBI because of the error, but we do tie the game. So I did fail the challenge of driving in a run. Although the run did score no RBI because of the error. It was almost a double error. And they only gave him one error, but because he knocked it down and then he threw it offline. If he threw it online, I would have been out. 2 on 2 out, top 7 for Nate Lowe after the error by Pollitt. His second of the game. The Dodgers third ground ball. And middle of 7, it's 5-5 after the Astros score on the Pollitt error. We're lucky we tied the game. Oh, Kenley Jansen is now in. Runner at first, 2 outs, top 9, 5-5 against Kenley Jansen, their closer, but obviously the game is not. But obviously the Dodgers aren't leading. We're tied. They're not losing, but they're not winning. Okay, 1 on 2 out, top 9. 5-5. I'm going to turn off the Simmons after this at bat. Cutter, forcing fastball and a slider for Jansen. That's a ground ball. Cedar will go the short way. Middle of 9. It's 5-5 as LA has a chance to walk it off. Turn off the Simmons here. Sindel. Pop up. Stolen base. Ground out. Sindel and the Dodgers win it. Brock Holt with a walk-off Sindel, making up for his error as well, and the Dodgers are back in the series. We had a 4-0 lead, but end up losing 6-5 as the Dodgers walked it off. Brock Holt walked off Sindel, making up for his error. But despite the walk-off Sindel by Brock Holt, Will Smith, the catcher, not the actor, but Will Smith, the catcher, is the top player of the game, and the Dodgers are back in the World Series. Dodgers are only down now 2-1 here in this series as Jansen gets the win, Davinsky gets the loss. I went 1 for 5 with the Sindel. Bredman had a homer, Corey Lee had a double and an RBI. Sindel, ground out, obviously reached on the E5 that tied the game, and then another ground out. So, here we go. So what's going to happen here is, what's probably going to happen here now, because obviously we're not going to sweep them. If we lose Game 4, I said this in the last episode too. If we lose Game 4, the episode is over. If we win Game 4, I might play Game 5. Also, I might not. Because I do want to win the World Series if we do win it. I want to win those World Series regardless if we win Game 4 or not. But also, it would be kind of cool to have us win the World Series earlier rather than later in a video. So if we lose Game 4, the video is definitely over, and even if we win Game 4, the video still might be over. So either way, the video will definitely end if we lose Game 4. And if we win Game 4, if we lose Game 4, the video will definitely end. And if we win Game 4, the video still might end. But yeah, it's Justin Verlander versus Clayton Kershaw. Kershaw's pitching again. That's 2 days of rest, isn't it? Well, yeah, two days of rest. Kershaw's pitching again. Yeah, Verlander versus Kershaw. It's actually correction. It's not Kershaw. It did say Kershaw, but it's actually Justin Verlander versus Trevor Bauer, who in this game is still on the Dodgers. But yeah, let's get it. It's Verlander versus Bauer. Now batting at .451 after going 1 for 5 in Game 3. But like I said, if we lose Game 4, the video will definitely end. And even if we win Game 4, the video still might end. Hey, come on, get over here. Sorry about that. Let's watch the prediction. Matt Excursion, Game 4 of the 2021 World Series. And it's not raining anymore. Series will go 5, 6, or 7 games. Game 4 right now. Here we go, Trevor Bauer. 2 starts, no record, almost a 7 ERA, and a 2 whip. Here we go, and it's no score, 2 outs, top 2, no runners on, no runners on, or no runners on, 2 outs, top 2, no score. That's a fly ball, and it's gone as it stays fair. 380. As that one stays fair by 20 feet maybe. 380. And it's 389, 9 feet off. 3rd home run of the World Series for Henry Dowling, 9th of the postseason. And the Astros in Game 4 strike first. As the crowd is silent here at Dodger Stadium as the Astros strike first in Game 4 of the Fall Classic. As again Henry Dowling is waving it fair. It was fair by 20 feet. I believe it went into that was fair by about 20 feet. As I believe it went into the bullpen. And it's 1-0 Astros. As he was waving it fair, but that stayed fair by a good amount. At least 20 feet, as I believe it went into the bullpen. And I believe it did go into the Dodgers bullpen by down the left field line. 2 on, nobody out, bottom 3 for Brock Holt, the hero in Game 3. First at bat here in Game 4. Popped up on the infield, in flew the fly roll, so the Holt's out anyways. 1 down. Because even if Altuve didn't catch that, the batter's out. And it's now 2-2, top 5. I hit that home run on a knuckle curve. And he threw me another one! And it's up the middle base hit. As I guessed it in the same spot as earlier, he threw it to me, same pitch but different location. But it's a single. I have 9 home runs, 3 in the World Series. 2 in the ALDS. Manager says steal base. Here we go, 3-1 count. The last clip ended right when I was about to steal second base. I stole second base. It was a strike. 3-2. Ground ball to the left side, so I can't advance. Pollock throws it away, and it goes to third. I'm gonna stop at third as the ball stays in play. Second and third, nobody out. As Pollock, another E5. I thought that went out of play, but if it did, it would have said out of play, but it didn't, as he tried to jump and catch it like Justin Jefferson or Devontae Adams, but he cannot. As it stayed in play, if that went out of play, I think I would have only got to third base though, because I wasn't running. I didn't run until it was thrown away. 0-2 now to Corey Lee, and he swung through it 1 down. But yeah, that just shows, because he's made 3 errors at least. Pollock has at third base in 2 games, or a game and a half. I think that's the reason he's made 3 errors in a game and a half is because he's not supposed to be at third base, I don't think. 2-2, and he swung through it. And that was Justin Verlander. And now, second and third, 2 outs. 2-2 now to the Shields, who's 2 for 14 in the World Series. That ain't good. 2-2. And he's bunting with 2 outs and 2 strikes. And it's botched by Muncy. Throw to first is not in time. As he should have easily got the Shields out, but instead of getting him out, he knocked it down. But then by the time he recovered and threw to Bauer, the Shields beat the throw, as the Shields is pretty fast, and the Astros have the lead. No runners on, 1 out, bottom 5. Full count to Holt. Fly ball right to Dowling. 2 down. Here we go, 1 on, 2 out, top sets against Trevor Bauer. And he threw it to me again, but low and away, and I swung through it. Last 6 games, 14 for 25. 1 on, 2 out. Top 6 were up by 1. That's a ground ball. Cedar will do a short way, middle of 6, 3-2 Astros. And it's 3-2, 1 on, 1 out, bottom 7 for Bellinger against Brian Abreu. Fly ball, down, 2 down. And it's 4-2 Houston. First and third, 2 outs. Top 8, 4-2 Astros. It ends Victor Gonzalez. 2 for 3. That's a fly ball. It's into the gap. Can it get over his head? And it does get over his head. 2 runs will score, as Henry Dillon will have a 2-out, 2-run triple. And that blows it open. 6-2. Well, it doesn't really blow it open, but it gives us a couple insurance runs as we go from being up 4-2 to being up 6-2, as Bellinger put up his glove but missed it. It's a 2-out, 2-run triple for Henry Dillon. A 2-out, 2-run stand-up triple. Here's Nate Lowe as the Astros are up by 6 here in the 8th. Or as the Astros are up by 4, excuse me, here in the 8th. 6-2. 0-1. That's a liner. Field on a short hop by Muncy. In and over. Middle of 8. It's now 6-2 Astros. As I have 3 RBIs here in the game. And looks like a double switch. Am I didn't double switch out of the game? They took me out. I was replaced in the 8th inning because of the double switch. So the new pitcher came in, and then I came out. So I was replaced in the 8th inning. I turned off the Simmons. So it's bottom 8. It's 6-2. Now it's the top of the 9th. And ground out. Single, 2-run score. It's 8-2. And it's 8-2 bottom 9 now. Shut the door. We're up by half a dozen. The Dodgers, to 1-2-3, and the Astros are 1 away from going back to back as we blow out basically the Dodgers 8-2. As it was 4-2, but then we scored 2 in the 8th, 2 in the 9th to win the game 8-2. I'm not even out there as someone else came in to right field because of that double switch in the 8th inning. But it doesn't matter. I probably wasn't going to did another at bat anyways, but as I was taken out because of that I was taken out as part of that double switch in the 8th, but it doesn't matter. I still had a good game. I went 2 for 4, I think. There's Peacock. There's Peacock. There was no safe situation because we actually scored 3 in the 8th and 2 in the 9th. As I had a homer. I've hit a homer in every game of the series. No, I haven't. Out of the first 4 games of the series, I've hit a homer in 3 of them. In games 1, 2, and 4. So that ain't bad. This episode will end right here because I know we're up 3 games to 1, but there's no guarantee that we're gonna win the World Series in Game 5. I'm the player of the game again, so perfect way to end the episode. Although I didn't play the last 2 innings. I'm still a top player of the game. 2 for 4 with a homer. And, no. 3. I went 3 for 4. 3 for 4. Because I had that 2-run triple. So 3 for 4 with a homer, a triple, a single, and 3 RBIs, I'm pretty sure, right? Yeah, 3 for 4 with a homer, a triple, a single, 3 RBIs, a stolen base, and obviously a home run. OPS 2750. Verlander got the win. Bauer got the loss. There was no save because we won by 6 runs. As the Astros are a win away from winning their 2nd straight World Series, but I'm gonna end the episode right here, just because as I was a double shy of the cycle again, but obviously I hit that triple in the 8th inning like I did in Game 1. I hit the triple in the 8th inning in Game 1 and in Game 4. But yeah, but I'm gonna end the episode right here because there's no guarantee we're gonna win the World Series in Game 5. So that the rest of the World Series, no matter if it goes 1, 2, or 3 games, will be in the next episode of this series. So the rest of the World Series will be in the next episode of this series, and that video should be posted in a couple days, or 2 or 3 days. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. As the next episode of the series, like I said, will be the rest of the World Series. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you the next one. Okay, guys, time for the closing. No board. If you guys upload the like button. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Tell your mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, aunts, uncles, pets, and friends about these videos. And you know what? I'm going to see you in episode number 18 of this Henry Dowan, and will be the show 20, Road to the Show series. See you in episode number 18. And eat a lot of bacon. And go Astros.